So Mark is the best subject matter expert who can explain us about this will and trust, everything about why it is important, what are the risks involved, everything. So the session will be like two parts. First 30 minutes, Mark will explain about the importance. He will share all the inputs, and then next 30 minutes will be a Q&A session where we can ask various questions to Mark on our doubts or whatever we want to know more about will and trust, which will not be covered in the presentation. So that will be a Q&A session. So I request all the participants to be on mute mode until Mark completes his session. And then once we start the Q&A, then I will unmute all the participants. Thanks a lot, Mark. Thanks again for taking your valuable time to educate our community about the importance of will and trust. So welcome you once again. And
Yeah, well, thank you so much, everyone. I hope that you get a lot out of this session. As you know, I've talked many times the importance of an estate plan. This is something that everyone over the age of 18 needs, no matter, your wealth status. It covers a wide range of everything that you need to protect your assets, to protect your family, and we'll get into all of that in just a little bit. But so I want to take the time right now to talk about what net law actually is. Net law is your alternative to going to a attorney's office and getting your estate planning documents created by an attorney. So the reason that you don't want to do that anymore is you have options now. So you have net law that can create the same exact documents that you would get at a law office online that you can do in the convenience of your home. Through our Smart Guide technology, it walks you through all the questions that an attorney would ask, and it would give you state-specific documents. So if you live in Texas, you're going to get the same documents an attorney in Texas would create. Remember, we have attorneys in our network that work in every state. So if you're in Texas, you're going to get documents created by an estate planning attorney in the state of Texas. If you're in Kentucky, that's where I'm from, and I would get Kentucky state documents. And we'll talk about the significance of that in just a little bit. So NetLaw is a technology company that we actually started out as a document creation for attorneys. What we wanted to do was take technology to the attorney's office where the attorneys wouldn't have to type up estate planning documents for every client that comes in the door. They would have our documents readily available, and they would just go in and type in the answers to questions through Smart Guide technology. That's what we've created. So in 2012, our technology won the James Keene Award from the American Bar Association. That award is given to a law office for the best online delivery of legal services. So we were very humbled to win that in 2012. Some of our competition, like LegalZoom, Legal Shield, these companies pay millions and millions of dollars for their marketing. Everyone knows them because they spend so much on marketing. They have never won this award through the American Bar Association. And that's what separates us from everyone else. So not only do we have estate planning attorneys on file, but the American Bar Association has given us the award for best online delivery of legal documents. So if you're in a company like ours, a online document service, this is the award that you want to win. And we were humbled enough to win that award. So let's talk about what you get in a net law plan. So we have 5 basic plans. The second one is our most popular one, and it's the one that I highly suggest. So it gets you all of the documents that you need for both you and your spouse. $600 package covers you with your will, a children's trust, a financial power of attorney, and a revocable living trust. That's your healthcare that's your financial documents. We also have healthcare documents as well. That's your healthcare surrogate, HIPAA authorization, and advance directive. A pet trust is also included in there. And remember, this covers you and your spouse. So 2 full sets of documents for $600. If you go to any attorney's office, this same plan will cost you around $3,500 to $5,000. So you also get a life vault included in this plan. The Life Vault is a online security vault where you can go in and store all of your important documents. Anything that you can scan and save can be stored in this vault. And why is that important? Because if you're out and about and you get into a car wreck or you have an emergency and need to go to the hospital, well, you're not going to stop by home first to get your documents to take to the hospital. Once you get to the hospital, you can just open up your vault, or your spouse can open up the vault and show the doctors or the hospital your healthcare documents, and that can take care of it. You can show them your will, your trust. You can access anything. And we also have a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you purchase the plan, it doesn't fit your specific needs for any reason, we can give you your money back. Very rarely do we have that, though. I'll be totally honest with you. The other packages, we have a ILIT, which is an irrevocable life insurance trust, and that's $750. That's just where you can put all of your life insurance policies into the trust. Remember, it is irrevocable, so once you put it in there, you can't change it. And we have 2 packages that are brand new. They're both $99. One's the healthcare package, and one's the student package. And the only difference between the 2 is a FERPA consent form for the student package. That just gives the parents authorization to check on the children in college. So without that form, parents cannot call a college and find out about grades. If your child was hurt, then you can't find out why, what happened, because remember, if they go to college, they're going to be over 18 and they're going to be legal adults. Those are all the extra plans that we have. The $600 plan is our main plan. It's the one that we sell 99% of the time. It covers you, throughout your life. So like I said, it's $600. You can pay $60 a month for 12 months for this plan. And after the first plan, there's an $8 fee that keeps you covered for as long as you want to keep your account. So $8 a month after the first year keeps your account open and active. So a lot of people ask me, why would I want to keep that $8 going? Well, remember, life events happen in everyone's life. This is a chart that I made that kind of gives me everything that I could think of why we would want to go in and change our documents. These documents, remember, are all online. You can go in and edit them at any time as long as you have an open and active account. Remember, the first year, you're fully covered. If you want to go in and change something in your account, you can absolutely do that free of charge. After the first year, it's just $8 a month to have the access to go in and change any documents or keep storing documents into your online storage facility. And this screen kind of gives you an idea of why you would want to do that. Change in marital status. You may purchase this plan when you're single and then you get married. You can bring your spouse right in at no charge. Remember, this plan covers both husband and wife, 2 full sets of documents. Buying and selling real estate. So if you purchase a vacation home or you have property overseas, you can put those properties into your trust, and once you pass away, they'll avoid probate. Relocation to a new state. You may live in Texas, but move to Florida for a reason. All you have to do, instead of going to another attorney's office and getting state-specific documents for Florida, you just log into your NetLaw account, and you can change the address in your NetLaw account. It will automatically update your documents. All you need to do is print it out, get it witnessed and notarized. This is the reason why you want to do a NetLaw plan. The cost of the $600 plan is wonderful, but the add-on of being able to edit these documents anytime something happens, it's so valuable, because without this, you would need to go back to an attorney's office for each document that you need to update every time. and that's going to be $300, $400, $500 to change a document. With this, it's just $8 a month. So you can see the value in that. So why is estate planning so important? I'm going to talk about 4 individual things, and this is exactly why you need estate planning. The first one is you decide who gets your assets. So if you don't have a will, no big deal, right? Well, that's wrong. If you don't have a will, then a judge will come in and decide who gets your assets. That's how it is in U.S. law. So other countries are totally different, where the family may gain access right away. In the U.S., that's not how it is. There is a program. It's called intestate, and what that means is you died without a will. So the court system has a estate plan already set up for you if you don't have that. So some of your assets may go to your spouse, some may go to your children, but it's not up to you who decides that. It would be up to the state who decides who gets what and when they get it. So remember, if you don't have a will and you don't name who gets your assets, the state will decide for you. So no one wants that, because you've made promises to people, you've told them they're going to get this, but a judge comes in and says, well, that's not how we're going to do it. So very, very important reason why you need to do a will is because you want to decide who gets your assets. These are your assets, and it's up to you to decide who gets them. The second one, and which is probably most important to me and probably for you as well, is who will take care of your underage children. If you don't name a guardian in your will, the state will decide who gets your kids. So if both spouses die in a car wreck or plane wreck, or you may have you may not be married and have a child that you're raising, without you going in and naming a guardian for that child, a judge will come in and make that decision. Even though you know that you want your family members to raise this child, the judge may pick someone else. So this is one of the main reasons, and we hear it every day at NetWall. Well, I knew that I wanted to do this, but I didn't get my will done in time, and something happened, and now I can't get my sister's kids or my brother's kids or my cousin's kids, and I know that they wanted me to raise them. We hear that every day, but without this document, you just don't want to leave that up in a judge's hands. And it saves on family turmoil. Brothers and sisters will fight. Moms and dads will fight. So it's just a great way to protect yourself, protect your children by going ahead in the will and naming that guardian. The third one is avoiding probate. Probate is a court process where if you do not have your assets in a trust, then the state will freeze all of your assets, allowing creditors to come in, and they will take what's owed to them, and then what's left will go to your beneficiaries. Our trust is a probate avoidance trust, so any assets in that trust will be distributed right away without going through the probate process to your beneficiaries. So we're talking about property, automobiles, bank accounts. How valuable is that bank account? If you need to maybe start making funeral arrangements and you can't do it because the money that was left behind is stuck in probate because the bank account is frozen. All these things we need to think about. And this is exactly why we need a revocable living trust that NetLaw offers. And it is part of the $600 package. And remember, you put your assets into the trust and it avoids probate. That's how it is in U.S. law. Without those assets being in the trust, they will go through probate. And the fourth one, we talked a little bit when I was going down the documents that you get, are healthcare decisions. A lot of people think about estate planning as just financial, but it's also healthcare. Who's going to make your healthcare decisions for you if you're unable to do so? It also lets you do an advanced directive, which is end-of-life decisions. Do you want to be hooked up to a machine until you pass away? Or do you just want to, pass away naturally when it's time? All of these decisions are yours, not the hospitals, not the doctors. But without these documents, the hospital and the doctor's office is going to make these decisions for you. Your spouse won't have any way to make that decision for you. Your kids won't have that. So even if you're in a wreck or you have stage 4 lung cancer and there's just no way that you're going to recover, without these documents, it's the hospital's job to keep you alive as long as possible. So if you don't want that, then absolutely you're going to want to do these documents to make sure that, you know, your decisions are followed through by the doctors, the hospitals, all of that. So those are the 4 main reasons why you need an estate plan. And I know this is a lot different in the U.S. than in other countries. That's why I always stress how important it is for U.S. citizens to have these documents, or if you're just over here for any reason, it's so important to have these documents. So I like this. This is kind of my closing on why you need that law. It's personal, right? These are your decisions. You know, it's your assets, and you want to make sure that they're distributed in the right way. It's your family. You want to make sure that you take care of them. You know, you want to make sure that the assets get to them in a timely fashion. And you want to make sure that your healthcare decisions are yours, not anyone else's. So it's very personal why you want to do an estate plan. And I mean, you know, and I always say that, you know, the main reason you do this is not for yourself. It's to protect your family, right? And that's what we all strive to do, is number 1, protect our family. The second bullet point here is conversational, right? You want to tell your family what your decisions are so they know. You know, this is something that you can do around a kitchen table. It's very easy to do. You can gather your family around and say, hey, you know, this is, you know, mine and my wife's decision, or mine and my husband's decision. And this is what we've decided to do, and we want to share this with you. So this is exactly why you would want to do a net law plan: personal, conversational, digital. Like I said, everything is online. The documents that you create are online. The vault is online, so you can get to these any time of day. You don't have to wait for a lawyer's office to open up. If you need it and it's a weekend, good luck, because they're not coming into the office. If you have your documents stored at a bank and it's the weekend, good luck. Banks aren't open on the weekends, most of them. And if they're there, they're probably not going to be able to get into the vault anyway. So digital, you just have everything online. You can do it all at your time, not someone else's time, and everything is readily available. And the last one is done, right? Everyone knows that you need an estate plan. 60% of Americans do not have a will, and 90% don't have all the documents that we're talking about today. And out of the 10% that do have them, half of them don't know where their documents are. They've done them 5, 10, 15 years ago. They're somewhere down in a basement, and they have no idea. Let alone do they know where their family knows where these documents are. So if something happens to mom and dad, the kids have no clue where these documents are at. It's digital. You can give your password and your username to your kids. If anything happens to you, they can log right in and get your documents. You can go in and get them at any time. It's so important. It's so easy. And everyone knows that you need to do this. You know, you talk to anyone on the street and you ask them if they have a will or a trust. And, you know, most people unfortunately say no. But boy, I really need to do it. And this is exactly why you need to do it. One way to hopefully get everybody excited about this is we're having a buy one, get one free. So if you buy the $400 or $600 package, you will get a buy one, get one free. So you buy yours at full price. You pay the $400 or $600, and we will give you a second plan to give away at no additional cost. So you can give this away to anyone over the age of 18. You just go to Kishore's link at the top, and I can email this out to everyone. So Kishore, if you could get me everyone's email after this, I will send them this page. You just go to that link. You go to the bottom of the page, and you can purchase the plan, and it will automatically register you for a buy one, get one free. And after you purchase it, all we need to know is who you want to give it to. So you can reach out to Kishore for that, and we can take care of everything for you. This is a big promotion for us. It doesn't come around often, but you're talking $600 gets you 2 sets of fully executed documents, right? So one set for you that covers you and your spouse, and you're giving away another one that covers the 2 spouses in that relationship. $600. You just can't go anywhere to protect yourself, protect your assets, protect your family for this amount of money. If this is the time and you're thinking about this, this is the time to purchase. And I'm sure Kishore will talk a little bit about that here in a little bit, and we'll answer all the questions. But this doesn't come around very often, as you can imagine, because of the value. So buy one, get one free all of September. You just go to the link at the top. That will take you to Kishore's page, and you can purchase. You can call him directly. His name will be on the link. His phone number will be there, or you can email him. So this is a perfect opportunity if you're thinking about it, and obviously you are, or you wouldn't be on this webinar today. So this is the time. This is all of our information at Net Law. If you need that, you can call us. We're in Kentucky, so we are on Eastern Standard Time from 8:30 to 8:30 Monday through Friday. Our phone number is up there. Our email is up there. So this is a very valuable thing. We would like for you first to reach out to Kishore, obviously, because he leads us in everything that we do. So he would be your first stop. But if you need anything in particular, you can always call us as well. So Kishore, that is it for the presentation. If there's anything that you want me to go over, or we can start the question and answers, you lead and I'll follow.
Yeah, sure, Mark. Thanks a lot, Mark. That's a valuable info about the importance and what are the risks if we don't have will or trust. So yeah, that's a great info. So again, friends, yeah, every day we see a GoFundMe link, and we see so many reasons which we can never expect. Like, for example, 2 weeks back we saw in Ohio some young person who just came from India with his wife, with a kid of 1 year old, doing some oil change in his car garage, and car fell on him. And we know the problems which they faced because he didn't have will or trust, nothing. So he just came from India before 6 months. And we know, like in Houston during Harvey or before that, whenever we have rainfalls, we know like how employees went in morning and they never returned back. So again, so this $300 or whatever it is not really something big compared to what we pay to attorneys, or compared to the importance of protecting our family, our financial assets, more importantly our kids, especially if they are minors. So again, do it somehow, like either net law or somewhere else or whatever it is, but yeah, make sure you take this step, because we always neglect, because we think, okay, it won't happen to us, but we never know, right? There is no way we can predict something happens. Or so yeah, please take that step and make sure you get your family protected, because that is the most important asset for us. So yeah, protect your family, protect your minor kids. And because we came from India, so we think like everything works as Hindu act, where if something happens to us, our assets will go to our kids. Or so, but yeah, we are living in a different country, the laws are totally different. So that's the main reason I want to invite more and more community, and because most of us are unaware about it, and some of us, even though we know, we think like, okay, it won't happen to us, and we will just take it light and we will postpone it again and again. But yeah, request all of you to think about seriously and act upon it. Like, don't delay it further, because we don't know about tomorrow what happens, and we don't want to be in a situation. Even if yeah, with this session, if we can save, or if we can mitigate the risk of few families, then that the time which we all are spending here is a well spent time. So yeah, please, I request everyone to think seriously and do it from somewhere, whatever you do your research. But yeah, and then yeah, you can do it, but make sure to do it. So yeah, now I request everyone to type your questions in the chat, so that yeah, if we unmute everyone, there might be too much of disturbance, or we have around 68 participants. So
We have one question, Kishore. Mark, do you want to address that?
Sure. Yeah. What's your question?
Why do we need to change once we move to another state? What documents are we required to change?
Right. You would need to change all of them because in each state in the United States, there are different estate planning laws. So if you're in California, you would be following California law. But if you move to Texas, Texas has different laws in their estate planning documents than California does. That's why you need state-specific documents. And that's what we offer. So some may ask questions, like if you're in Texas, it may ask a specific question that is not asked in California. You want to be protected as much as you can be in the state that you live in.
One question. Is there like a one-time payment where we have the ability to go ahead and change these documents, or do I have to sign up for 8 times 12 for life?
Yeah, so it's $600, and that covers you for the first year. After the first year, it's $8 a month. There's no one-time payment. Because some people like to cancel out of it, especially if you're older, and you're not going to have any more kids. You're not going to move. You're not going to buy any more property. You can opt out of that $8, and your documents are still yours. But you just don't have to pay the $8 because you're keeping the $8 active to change your documents. That's what it's for. But if you want to opt out of that, you do not have to pay the $8. You just lose the ability to edit any documents. And, a lot of our older clients absolutely do that.
I got a question. This is Yogesh. And the question is that we live in a Texas. Is the will alone will do in a Texas? Because that's the easiest state.
Okay, yeah. You may have to repeat it because you cut out on me really bad.
Okay, what I'm saying that we live in a Texas, is the will alone will do the job, or we have to have a trust?
Yeah, so for the will will be good if you want to name executors for your account. Who's going to take care of everything once you pass away? A will name a guardian for your minor children. A will name where your assets are going to go. So this asset goes to this particular person. A trust is a separate document. A trust is where you put your property or automobiles or bank accounts into the trust to avoid probate so that they're not held up in the court system for a certain amount of time while creditors come in. So will and trust are two totally separate documents. You need both because you want to put your properties into the trust so that they're not held up in probate court. Because if you have to go to probate court, you have to hire an attorney. You have to go to court. So you're looking at thousands of dollars for that.
Hey, Mark, I got a question. Yeah, actually, I got a couple of questions. First of all, I think, thank you very much for your presentation. I think you hit all the main points. But I'm sure this question, which I'm going to ask, is on several people's minds, but I'm going to ask nevertheless.
Mm-hmm.
If an individual owns a house, has some bank accounts, and perhaps has a 401k or IRA plan,
mm-hmm.
and has both spouses' names on all accounts as well as the house, and has got beneficiaries named in their 401k account,
mm-hmm.
and TOD named in the bank accounts,
mm-hmm.
would they still need a will? That's the first question. After you address that, I'll ask the second question.
Okay. And the last part there was, do you still need the will?
Yes.
Yes, because you'll need the will to name your executor. Who's going to handle all of this when they pass away? Who's going to take care of your final expenses? remember your final expenses. You still owe cable bill. You still owe your electric bill. You still have to pay taxes. If you die in the middle of the year, you still owe taxes to the government for the first 6 months that you were alive that year. So that executor will go in and take care of all of those responsibilities. Like I said,
if one spouse passes away, the second surviving spouse is able to take care of all those. So why would they need a will when
because they
surviving spouse's name is on all the accounts and the beneficiary is named as the surviving spouse or the children? I'm not questioning you, but I'm trying to understand what will a will do that having a joint names does not do.
Right. So for everything else, okay, I see what you're saying. So like for the house, yes, if let's say the husband passes away, so everything will go to the wife. What happens if both of them pass away in a car wreck?
Got it. I understand. In that situation,
so
yes.
We are taking care of everything. This is why, and remember, the husband's will, he can name everything to the wife. The wife's will, she can name everything to the husband. Yeah. But if one passes away, then one of them's going to have to go into their will and change their will all over to someone else. This is why you need to do it, because we don't know who's going to die first.
Okay. All right. I think, that part is clear. The second question has to do with, you had referenced a living trust. I understand the trust, and I understand the value and the benefit of a trust. Can you elaborate the differences between a living trust and a family revocable trust?
Mm-hmm. They're basically the same. Our trust is just a probate avoidance trust. So you put your assets into the trust and you avoid probate. When you get into like a family trust, that's where you can go in and like leave certain monies to children at a given age. So you can do like a children's trust where, like, if I want to leave my son who is 18, I may want to give him $100,000. Well, let's say $90,000 for easy math. $90,000, but I only want to give $30,000 of it at age 18 so he can start college. $30,000 is going to come after college at 24. And then the end of it's going to come at 30. That way they don't spend it all at age 18. So those are the differences.
Okay, got it. Okay.
How often do you have to upgrade or update the will?
Only if you have a life event. So if you change states, you get married, you get divorced, you have kids, you need to change your executor, you need to change your guardian. Anytime like that, anytime there's a change, you need to update it.
I see. Now, can you put a name as your over 18 children as the executor also?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And a great thing about our product as well is you can name the person an executor, but you can also name alternatives. So if that person is out of the country when something happens, you have alternates that can come in and make those decisions for you without having to go in and change the document.
I see. And how easy to do the funding to the trust?
Yeah, real easy. Yeah, real easy. All you do is for your property, you just take down the deed to your house and a copy of the trust down to the county clerk's office, and you do a deed transfer. You do a quick claim deed, and it probably takes 15 minutes.
I see. And same thing goes to the car title, same thing goes to the bank accounts.
Exactly. Yeah. So for the automobiles, you'd go to the DMV's office and do a title change. You go to the bank to do an account change. So instead of, Bob and Mary Smith's account, it would be the revocable living trust of Bob and Mary Smith. That's the account name.
I see.
Mark, in your product, the probate avoidance trust, if an individual has got assets in more than one state in the United States, you guys will file the trust in each of the states where the assets are located so that the probate can be avoided in all the states?
No, what happens is the trust will be created in your primary state. So we use whatever's on your driver's license. That will be your primary state. But you can take property in other states and move it into your trust, and it will be protected.
Hey, Mark, I have a question for you. Like,
Okay.
you said the $600 plan covers both husband and wife. They can make their wills or trust, right? So if
Correct.
both are staying in different states, so it will still cover, right?
Yeah, because there's a section in the plan where it talks about spouse. One of the one of the questions that it asks is, does the spouse live at the same address as you? You can click
Okay.
no, and then she can put her address in, or he can put his address in.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
There is a question from Lokesh. What is the difference between living will and last will?
Living will is your end of life decisions. So do you want to be hooked up to a machine? Do you want to be fed nutrition through a tube? Or do you just want to pass naturally? That's one of the healthcare documents. Your last will and testament is what we talked about. Naming guardians, naming executors, telling where your assets are going to go and who the beneficiary is of that.
Thanks, Mark. Next question from Apurva that, LegalZoom is charging $79 for the will, and the Netla is charging $600. Why there is a difference?
Yeah, what they're charging is a one-time fee. From what I understand is that, so you have to buy two, one for you and one for your spouse. That doesn't cover all the documents that we're covering. We're an all-in-one shop. We're not a la carte. We want to protect you fully. It doesn't come with a vault where you can store all of your important documents. If you need to change one of those documents, you have to spend the $69 again. And they charge more for trust and healthcare documents as well. I've got a spreadsheet that I will send to you, Kishore, and you can send out to everybody. And it breaks down a 5-year comparison with NetLaw, LegalZoom, Legal Shield, and Rocket Lawyer. And ours ended up being the cheapest.
Sure, Mark. That will be great, because this one
Yeah, I'll
question
send that to you.
everyone. Yeah, everyone looks at only the temporary cost, but they don't see the overall cost. So that information will be very useful.
Right. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that they're not good products. I'm not going to talk down another company for sure. But I believe in this product, and this product is exactly what you need. Just for the aspects of being able to go in and change it at any time and storing your documents online, that's two things that hardly anybody else offers.
Okay. So another question from Deepan that, what if we don't have plans to move to any other state? So
I think he's talking about the $8. So you can opt out of the $8 at any time. You do not have to pay for it. Now, remember, you do lose the ability to go in and edit any documents. But let's say you opt out of the $8 and 3 years later something happens and you need to get back into your account. We can reactivate your account for $250.
Okay, yeah. So next question from Atmaram. If we own a house, have bank accounts and IRA plan, and have beneficiaries named, would a will still be required? I think
a will would be required because of naming an executor if you have minor children. You really wouldn't need a trust. I mean, we would recommend that you do put it into a trust. But if you only have just a bank account and you have a named beneficiary, you really wouldn't need a trust. So the $400 option may be better for you. But what I would suggest is you're only paying $200 more for a revocable living trust. Eventually, sometime in your life, you're probably going to buy property or something. So, I would go ahead and get it. But the decision is absolutely yours.
Kishore, he addressed both of my questions.
Yeah, cool.
One more question, Mark. If you have a real estate buying and selling, how often do I have to put that in a trust? Because if I'm buying the property for 2-3 months, then I'm gonna sell it 2-3 months. The title with me for only 2-3 months. Once I sell it, I get rid of the title. I'm still have to put for that 3 months in a trust.
That's a good question.
Thank you.
If you're only gonna, if you're a buyer and seller, real quick. Personally, I may hold off on putting that into a trust, and that would be your decision. But remember, once you buy the property, you can put the deed right into the trust name, and when you sell it, you can take it right out. So if something unforeseen happens, your family is still protected, and they can sell that property right away without it going through probate. So it's as easy as just when you buy the property, the deed can already be deeded into the name of the trust. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's your way around having to go to the county clerk's office and doing all that. You can do it right away.
And what happens if you just act like a bank? In other words, if you act like a mortgage company, so somebody else owns the home, but you the one who giving them a loan.
Well, that's totally different because your name wouldn't be on the deed.
No, name won't be on a deed, but as the financer or the trust of deed, will have a.
Yeah, that wouldn't have anything to do with the trust because it wouldn't be your property.
Okay.
So next question is from Sam. Is the buy one get one offer for husband and wife, or is it one more I can share with a friend? So Mark, you already covered that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. The one that you buy is for your husband, your spouse. So the one that you buy is for you and your spouse. Then you give another plan away to someone else, husband and wife. So 2 couples.
Yeah. 600 covers 2 couples.
Mm-hmm.
You already answered between living trust and family revocable trust. What is the real use of revocable versus irrevocable trust?
Yeah, the difference between revocable and irrevocable is irrevocable. Once you put stuff in an irrevocable trust, you can't change it. So you can't go in and change it. You can't take anything out. You can't go in and add anything. So what goes into an irrevocable trust stays there. Anything else, you need to purchase another trust.
Okay. Yeah. Next question is from Deepal. Setting pod on my accounts isn't enough to avoid probate.
Okay, say that again.
Setting pod (POD) on my accounts is that not enough to avoid probate?
No, it has to be in the trust.
Okay. So next one from Shiva. Is will and trust applicable to Indian citizens also?
As long as you own, what we always ask for is as long as you own assets in the U.S., then you need this plan. Whether you're over here on a visa, you're trying to get citizenship, you're here, you need these documents, especially for the healthcare. If you get sick, you need to protect yourself.
Yeah. What if someone already has some or all of these documents completed? How will your services help us?
Mm-hmm. Then this is what they would use instead of going back to an attorney's office and paying the fee to get a couple documents. They can go ahead and get all of their documents recreated. And remember, they also get the vault so that they can keep all of their documents secure and safe. If they went through just an attorney's office, they're not going to get that.
How easy it is to do it online?
Yeah. Someone is asking like how easy it is to access them online.
Yeah.
Access the documents?
No, the vault, to create the vault.
Yeah, the vault is inside your NetLaw plan. There's a tab at the top that says My Vault. You just click on that and all of your documents appear.
So yeah, it should be very easy. So
yeah.
And you guide us through creation of this will and trust, right? I mean, as a newbie, is there a person whom we can call and ask what to fill in, or is it like just an insurance application form?
You can. Yeah. Once you get into the system, it's all question and answers. But if you do need us to help you, we can absolutely do that. You would call the number on the screen, and we can walk you through it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
There is another question from Bridge, like what is a trust? Why it is important?
So you avoid probate. So, you're protecting your assets from probate court so that your beneficiaries gain those assets right away without going through the probate process.
And generally, how expensive it is, Mark? Like if somebody is ignoring these, and if it goes to probate, and for example, if someone has some 500K in his account or his assets, so do we have any stats like, okay, probate court, CPAs, attorneys, or whatever charges?
Well, I really wouldn't know because each attorney charges its own fee. But remember, you have to hire an attorney. You have to take off work to go to court. The probate process could last 2 or 3 court dates. So it could get into the thousands of dollars easily.
Yeah. And also remember the mental stress on the family, which they are already facing. And we don't want to give them all this additional stress.
Right. And a lot of people need, to be able to sell the house right away, sell the cars, get into the bank account to be able to get the funeral arrangements set up.
Yeah. Another question from Sam. My employer provides legal sessions for free. Does it cover the will, or I need to choose NetLaw?
That's it's your decision. Legal consultations, not getting your documents. I don't know if they're gonna do your estate planning documents for free. So I seriously doubt that an attorney is going to sit there and do that. If you have any legal questions, you can call us and we can ask an attorney on your behalf, or we have an attorney tab in the plan where you can call an attorney and talk to them. But really, we want you to call us first. There's, it's 99% of the questions that you're going to have, it's already been answered by an attorney.
Yeah. So once assets are in trust and when modifications are needed, $8 is all we pay, or are there any other additional charges other than
after the first year, it's $8 a month. Mm-hmm. But remember, anytime that you need to add or take anything away from the trust, you need to get those documents witnessed and notarized every time there's a change. So that would be an expense. There would be an expense to redo the deed. Not a lot, but just so you have an understanding of what you would have to pay. There would be minimal charges afterwards.
Yeah, request all the participants to be on mute until we complete all the questions.
Yeah, you cut out on me there, Kishore.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So I think someone else is also asking a similar question, so I will ask both the questions. So can we have a parent or anyone living in India be an executor?
You can, but remember, if they're an executor or if they're an executive, then they're responsible for coming over here and taking care of all of the decisions that you made. So they'll need to fly from India to the U.S. to help out with this. So if they don't have the funds or a visa to get in, that could be a problem.
Yeah, but at that point, so will you guys help in getting a visa?
Well, no, we wouldn't help you get a visa, but that's why alternates are named. So remember, you can name someone as your executor. If they can't make it over here, then you can name alternates where they could fill in. And that alternate could be someone who's living in the U.S.
So that can be somebody, your close friend or or a relative who you think that the right person can be the executor.
You're exactly right.
Okay, thank you.
Is notarization a part of this deal? Because usually you got to print all that out and get a notary and notarize it, right? I mean, is that a part of the net law?
It can be. There's an extra fee that you can call a company up and they will notarize your documents. It's a deed service as well, so they'll take care of all the deed transfers and everything like that. We do have that option, but as far as just the regular option, no, you have to print out your documents and get them witnessed and notarized. Because remember, we're based out of Louisville, Kentucky, so we can't travel across the U.S. to here's your documents and we got them notarized for you. We just can't do that.
Okay, and is it going to be all legal terms, or is it going to be like, say, something like TurboTax, which just, colloquially talks to you,
yes,
or you see what I'm saying, right? I mean, if it's going to be
yes. I'm glad you said that. It is. It's like a TurboTax. It asks you a question and you answer it. It's in plain English. It's not in lawyer talk. I'm not a lawyer, but I talk to lawyers and I work with lawyers every day, and I know how they talk. And as you can tell, I don't talk like them. The system is designed for the average person, not lawyers.
So when you create a trust or a will for a trust, how much is the tax generally one has to incur?
Well, there wouldn't be a tax just for putting it into the trust, but you still have to pay property tax on this. This isn't a tax avoidance trust. It's just probate. So you would owe taxes.
No, at the time of creating the trust, I was reading it that in different states have a different taxation when you prepare a trust.
Yeah, I would say call me on that, and then I could look that up. Are you in Texas?
Yeah.
Yeah, call me at that number, and I can find that out for you. I don't know right offhand, being in Kentucky, what Texas is.
Okay.
The next question is from Sham. Can we assign real estate company to a trust?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And then
you can execute the real estate proper real estate business under a trust, and
yes,
the benefit can go to the trust.
You can put your business into a trust.
Yeah. And then next question is that monthly charges $8. Is that per person or for couple? Like after
for the per trust.
It's for the couple. It's for the plan.
Okay. Again, can you please explain the difference between will and trust once again?
Mm-hmm. A will is where you name your executors to handle all of your decisions that you've made. A will is where you name guardianship for minor children. A will is where you go in and you name specific bequest. This specific asset goes to this specific person. A trust is where you put your property into to avoid probate court.
Yeah. So again, there is a common question like, can anyone living in India be an executor or siblings? I think you already answered that question, but again, the best practice is to have someone, if you have some good friends or siblings or anyone in your local city. Please unmute yourself. I muted everyone. So if you want to ask a question, please unmute yourself and ask a question. I see that.
Hi, I have a question here.
Sure, Apurva.
Just wanted to check, is it possible we can just do the will and not the trust? Because I just want to safeguard my kids' interest, and I don't have any property here in the US.
You can.
Do you have it with NetLaw? Because I checked online and doesn't say anything like that.
Mark, do you want to answer that? Sorry, let me unmute Mark. Mark, please unmute. I muted all the participants because there were few let
I
me
think you can
yeah.
you can have individual things. You can have will and the trust separately, and if you want only the will, then I think the best would be he will say that you call them.
Yeah, let me go back here and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So the $400 package here is the same as the $600 without the trust. So you get all of these documents. You get the vault, you get the 30-day money back guarantee, your spouse is included, but you just don't get the trust. I think that's what she's looking for.
Yeah, so do you have a buy one get one on this too?
We do, yes, for the $400 and the $600 package and the $750. The buy one get one free just doesn't cover the healthcare and the student package.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can I select Netla as executor?
That would be a bad idea.
So is executor has right to take over our assets in case if he is not able to reach a person in India?
No, the executor is just in charge of passing out assets. They're there to pay final expenses, but if they're not named to a specific asset, then they do not get that asset.
Okay. So if we acquired assets in India long back, do we need to bring them into trust?
Okay, say that again.
If we acquired assets in India long time back, do we need to bring them into a trust?
You can put them into the trust, like property in India or an automobile in India. You can put those into the trust, but remember that asset is in India. You have to follow India's laws, but you can put them into our trust.
One last question. I also see it is 9. So can one have simple will stating all these are my assets and they go to my mom 25%, my wife 25%, 25% to my daughter, and rest to some charity? What
Yes.
are the
Yes, you can absolutely do that in the specific bequest.
And then
one more question I have. If you have a will, can the will go to the probate? Still the assets can go to probate, or somebody claim on it?
Yes, because a will go to probate. That's why you want to put as many assets into the trust as you can, because those assets in the trust will avoid probate. So major assets like property, automobiles, bank accounts need to be put into the trust.
I see. Okay.
But anything in the will go to probate.
I see. Okay. Thank you.
One last question, Mark. What are the tax implications for having foreign assets?
Yeah, I don't know, because it's foreign assets. I wouldn't know the taxation laws in any other country. So that would be something that you would probably want to reach out to one of our Texas attorneys about, and they can find out.
And one more, can we put 401k amount into trust or will?
Yes, you can put it into the trust. But really, like a life insurance policy or 401k, they usually have named beneficiaries. So you really wouldn't have to. But my best practice is to put everything that you can into a trust. It's only going to protect you.
Cool. Yeah. I think, you covered each and every question, Mark. So thanks again for your valuable time and clarifying all the questions. And request to all the participants, seriously think about it and act on it. And don't ignore it further.
Well said.
Thanks, Mark and Kishore. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Mark. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Good night.